Thomas Bird is our presenter today with Paychex. I don't have a introduction for him, but he's the man who signs my paycheck. So everybody please welcome Thomas Bird.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't actually sign them. One day I'll have that power, but well, it's great to see so many smiling faces here today, especially that one. Look at that, pearly whites, pearly whites. Well, I just kind of wanted to start with a little bit about me. So I grew up downtown Puyallup, and during that time, as many of you know, Kevin was my Boy Scout leader, to make him feel old right now. Had a lot of great experiences with Kevin, and actually worked for his shop right after high school too.
Wow.
So
In between snowmobiling.
yes, in between. We would work all day and then snowmobile all night. So, but after I grew up, I went on a mission trip to Brazil.
Wow.
And so I was there about a year and a half. Had to come back for knee surgeries, but after that went to college to be a pilot, and now I sell payroll. But I've always loved flying. My dad had his license when I was growing up, and so went to school to be a pilot, saw the reality of what a pilot's life is like, and said that's not for me, but I'll still do it for fun. So then I actually managed a sales team at a racetrack down in Utah, and had a lot of fun doing that. And then decided, okay, it was more of a fun job, not really a career at where I was. So I still wanted to stay in the aviation field, and so I moved back up to Washington and went to school to be an air traffic controller. Again, I'm a payroll salesman. So completed air traffic control school just in time for the hiring freeze, which was awesome. And then they lifted the freeze right when I was too old to apply. So, but I learned a lot. Learned a lot in air traffic control. There's a lot of interpersonal communication, stress management, organization, things that really apply a lot to what I do today. So yeah, I didn't quite follow that career path, but it definitely helps me out. During that time, I ran into my now wife, who, interestingly enough, was my third grade crush. So ran into her, and yeah, that's the moment. Ran into her. I have a 15-year-old stepson, and I have two daughters, 2.5, and now 2.5 months. So I always say that I don't know what I'm going to do because my hair can't turn gray and I can't lose it. So I mean, I don't know. So I work for Paychex. We do payroll. We do 401k administration. So we work with financial advisors in that aspect, and we do HR for businesses. We were started about 45 years ago at a time when small businesses didn't have the help that they needed to do payroll correctly. They were kind of well, you're not a big business, so you're on your own, good luck. Luckily, the IRS wasn't didn't have as many auditors back then. But so we've been focusing on small businesses now, like I said, for about 45 years. We're the largest small business payroll provider in the country. We have approximately 675,000 clients. And one of the things that I really like about Paychex and our service model is we have 132 service centers around the country. And each of the clients work with those service centers. So my clients all work with a dedicated payroll specialist out of Kent. I'm in the same office that they're in, so I know them. It's nice to be able to work so cohesively as an organization where if you have a question, you're not transferred between departments. If it's a Saturday at 9 o'clock at night, you're not calling a different country for service, you're calling somebody within the US. So that's one of the things that I really love is the service that we provide our clients and more one-on-one. But let's see, what did I want to go to next? I mentioned 401k, so we're the largest 401k record keeper in the country. So we just do TPA work, so at the end of the year provide the 5,500 and keep the CPAs happy that everything's done correctly and easy. Go ahead.
You should probably explain what that means.
Oh, yes. So the third-party administrator, is basically the compliance at the end of the year, and I don't go too far into 401k because I have my 401k partner, but we do the compliance throughout the year so that everything's on the up and up, and nobody's knocking down your door saying, why didn't you do this and you did that wrong. It's nice when it works in with payroll because when you provide your hours, we have all the contribution amounts, everything, and we just take care of the movement right there. So instead of having to send a check and a report to this other company to do it, we take care of it all. HR, the new buzzword, the big buzzword is human capital management. And the businesses have, you have your products, you have your facilities, you have all of these pieces, but one of the most important pieces are the people. And so being able to effectively manage the employees, that human capital, is one of the services we provide, anywhere from a basic HR website where you can get any question answered, like what can I ask in an interview? There are some really surprising ones out there that can be tricky, and if somebody's just out interview hunting to hopefully get asked the wrong question, can keep you compliant there. Then all the way up to full HR assistance. You can have an HR generalist, somebody that is certified in human resources, come out and you have all the resources of Fortune 500 companies' HR department at your disposal. So that's one of our growing areas. We've really, as we've grown, looked at what our clients are asking for and what they need, and what can we provide to help them out. We're in a big growth mode this year. We are with how quickly the internet's changing and things are changing and what clients want changes. This year we're actually investing an additional $50 million into technology above what we did last year. So we're really taking what our clients are asking for to heart and providing those services. But the basic payroll. So why have somebody do your payroll? Number one, it's a lot easier. Number two, it saves you time. Number three, it removes the liability from your business. So we take on the liability for what we do, as long as you tell us the right stuff. Not trying to misclassify an employee in L&I. I don't know if I've told this story, but I was talking to a construction company who said that all of his employees were officers in the business, so he didn't have to pay L&I. Probably not the best choice. So we keep you compliant. We make it easy. When it comes time for payroll, you can call in the hours, go online, email, fax. I'm sure you could probably mail them in if you wanted to, old school style. But you just tell us the hours and we take care of everything from there. We pay the employees, remit the funds, do the quarterlies, do the end of the year work, and really for a lot less than what people expect most of the time. If you look at your costs as a business, from rent or mortgage down to cell phone bill, and the importance of those things, payroll importance is pretty high. But then when you look at the cost, most of the time it's less than your cell phone bill to have a publicly traded nationwide company handling that for you. So that's one of the biggest things. Just make it easy. Take the stress off your hands. You just tell us the hours, we take care of everything there. You don't have to worry about it. So kind of brief overview. What questions?
Yeah, at what point should a business consider using a service like that? I mean, how big?
If they have payroll. If you have any payroll. Myself, if I were to ever open a business, that'd be number one, get that off my hands. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm going into business for, and I'm really good at that. But most of the time, business owners have to learn how to do payroll. And in that learning process, you don't know what you're missing along the way. So we have packages for officer only, owner, S Corp, one person on the payroll, all the way up. So my average client in this area is 4 employees. So a lot of people say, well, I'm too small. No, you're not too small for the IRS. That's for sure. Being that we've been in business for so long and expanded our services, another question I get is, what's a good type of business? That's a hard one because we really have services for every type of business. Go ahead.
What's the number one mistake you see people make every day in doing their own payroll?
So, depends on where they're coming from. Number one, I'd say, is QuickBooks users not fully understanding payroll. Because while QuickBooks is a great, easy, quick way to do it, you get out what you put in. So if you're missing something, a lot of times the system's not going to tell you that. So you're not even going to know you're making a mistake. But also late returns, late filing, that's a big one. But those are the 2 main ones. Yeah. Any other? Yeah.
I have a question about the testimony. I had one of I get probably your major competitor in the 3-letter acronym company. Yeah, it's the beginning of the alphabet. But I had called them and I had just, like you call a cable company, it's like, I don't need this, give me just the lowest price, whatever you got, and just all the way down. And then, it was still probably 25% less than that. We're doing all the same thing, so it's good value, and the service is great too.
Thank you.
Same person calls every week.
Awesome.
She's good.
Thank you.
So like Manning said, there are a couple different choices for paychecks. What makes your company different or better than?
The major difference is the service model. Having a single payroll specialist locally that you work with. Within our office, we can handle any question that you have or any issue that you're having. You don't need to be transferred to a different department and hope that the last person you talk to took good enough notes so that the next person you don't have to re-explain yourself to. So just the ability to quickly handle anything and do it and have the personal touch of this person knows you, they know when you're calling in for payroll and they're expecting it. If you have anything that comes up, they know your business, so it's not a big surprise that is, all hands on deck, we have to get this figured out. We know the business, we know what your typical payroll is, and we can look out for anything out of the ordinary that comes up.
What's the process of starting up with you guys?
So it's really easy. That's one of the biggest in people's minds. Well, the fear of change. Of course, anytime is the fear of change. The transition is I get some signatures and I pull some reports. How long was I in your office? About
4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
It didn't take very long.
It was
pulled all the reports and we didn't miss a paycheck. And it was everything was direct deposited too, so it was just, which is a 2-week period, so
yeah. So
I didn't really do much.
I think I was in there about a half hour.
Wow.
And so on the business owner's end, all it is providing me access to the reports and doing the signatures. I do everything else. In the transition, you don't have to get paper checks on the first check date. We can do direct deposit on the first one. So the employees don't even miss a beat. And kind of nice also, the employees have access online to their pay stubs and W-2s. If you're doing any PTO tracking, they can see their PTO balances online. And then going into the HR side, it goes a lot deeper in what employees can do. So.
I started with Paychex last month. Thomas came over to my house at the end of the month. We spent about half an hour. The rest of it was just talking. And I had a paycheck deposited in 2 different accounts within 3-4 days. It was just easy to set up and no messing around. Pretty happy with it so far.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thomas, I have some questions. What about like the healthcare side of it? Does Paychex do like health savings account or contribution, like zero deduction for the premiums for healthcare, and like is the employer select the healthcare and then provide you premium amounts and you pay them, or do you just collect them and remit a check, or how's that work?
Yeah. So with health insurance, and I know he's got that on lock. So what the business would do is just provide those deduction amounts to us, and then we do the deductions. If we're not managing the insurance, then we can't remit the funds.
Oh, okay.
But there's a report that says exactly how much needs to be sent, and you can just print that report out and send it along with the amount, or however it's set up for your business. But we just take a look at the deductions, add those in as standard deductions for health insurance. When renewal comes, just provide us with the new deduction amounts. And sorry, I'm buzzing.
What about like commissions? Is there a way to report?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're doing it online, the user interface is completely customizable. So if you have commissions, if you have piecework, whatever it might be, you just change those columns on the side and you just throw the amount in there. And then, it's really easy on that.
We have bonus checks, and we just called up the same gal that we talked on everything else. It's kind of different, getting the same person every time. But like, here are the bonus checks. She said, okay, here's how much you write the check for. So I like to write them in person and hand it to them instead of being direct deposited with all the money. So she told me how much to pay, and so that gives them the net amount. It's
They
really
do
easy.
all the deductions and everything, and then you give them the
Yeah, over a couple of seconds. Or I can put it in the computer and do it myself too.
Yep. And then we just take care of the taxes on that. So. Yeah, it's nice because you have that flexibility of, if you're in the middle of a pay period and you need to cut somebody a check, you don't have to wait, or you don't have to try and figure it out on your own. Hey, how much do I pay them? Here's the net amount, write them a check, or we can do the direct deposit. So lots of flexibility. Our online platform is called Paychex Flex because it has all the flexibility to do anything that you want. So.
We've used different payroll companies in the past. You guys are our third one. And I just want to let everybody know that I'm thoroughly satisfied with everything he does. Thomas, he stops by regularly just to make sure everything's okay, and he's easy to get a hold of, and it's just one thing that we just don't need to deal with. And also I noticed you offer, you do a weekly basis, twice a month, however you want to do it, once a month.
Yep, any frequency you want.
We're really happy with the service.
Awesome, thank you. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.